Welcome to the X Project podcast. This is a podcast of the X Project Substack. To subscribe, please go to thexproject.substack.com. End times. Elites, counter-elites, and the path of political disintegration. A summary of the book by Peter Churchin, 2023. Article number 34. Published February 14th, 2024. In this article, the X Project will answer these 10 questions. Why this book and what's it about? Who is the author? How popular is the book? What are the 5 top takeaways from the book? What does the X Project guy have to say? And finally, as always, why should you care? Section 1. Why this book and what's it about? Amid a world that seems to be on the brink of monumental change, end times, elites, counter-elites, and the path of political disintegration by Peter Churchin arrives not just as a book, but as a prophetic lens through which we can discern the tumultuous currents shaping our societies. Churchin, a polymath who has delved into the depths of history, mathematics, and sociology, offers us a map to navigate the complex terrain of modern politics. Why this book, you ask? Because it cuts through the noise of daily news to reveal the underlying structures that drive political upheaval and societal transformation. It's about understanding the cycles of history, the rise and fall of elites, and the relentless forces that lead to the disintegration and rebirth of political orders. Churchin's thesis is compelling and unsettling. We are on a path of political disintegration, driven by the dynamics between elites and counter-elites. The book meticulously outlines how the overproduction of elites leads to fierce competition for limited resources, resulting in societal fractures and the emergence of counter-elites who challenge the status quo. It's a cyclical process, Churchin argues, observed throughout history, where the accumulation of wealth and power by a few leads to inequality, social unrest, and eventually the restructuring of society. This isn't just academic musings, it's a stark warning. Churchin draws upon a wealth of historical data and employs sophisticated mathematical models to predict that we are nearing a critical juncture, a time of great upheaval that could redefine the contours of power and governance. Section 2. Who is the author? According to Wikipedia, Peter Churchin was born in 1957 in Obninsk, Russia, and in 1964 he moved with his family to Moscow. In 1975, he enrolled at Moscow State University's Faculty of Biology and studied there until 1977, when his father, Soviet dissident Valentin Churchin, was exiled from the Soviet Union. In 1980, Churchin received a Bachelor of Arts, cum laude, in biology from New York University, and in 1985, a PhD in zoology from Duke University. Today, he is a complexity scientist specializing in an area of study he and his colleagues developed called cliodynamics, mathematical modeling and statistical analysis of the dynamics of historical societies. Peter Churchin, Emeritus Professor at the University of Connecticut in the departments of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, Anthropology, and Mathematics, is a project leader at the Complexity Science Hub Vienna and a research associate at the School of Anthropology of the University of Oxford. He was editor-in-chief and remains a member of the editorial board at Cliodynamics, the Journal of Quantitative History and Cultural Evolution. Churchin is a founding director of the Sechat Global History Databank. He was a director of the Evolution Institute. In 2021, he was elected Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science. Section 3. How popular is the book? Here are the book's rankings on Amazon. Number 19 in political philosophy. Number 22 in democracy. Number 52 in cultural anthropology. Customer reviews, 4.4 out of 313 ratings. Section 4. What is one of the top takeaways from the book? The cyclical nature of history. Peter Churchin's assertion that history moves in cycles is rooted in a profound analysis of societal structures and their transformations over centuries. He illustrates this through numerous examples, such as the rise and fall of empires like Rome, the cyclical nature of Chinese dynasties, and the periodic social upheavals in France. Churchin's evidence is supported by his cliodynamics approach, which uses quantitative methods to analyze historical societies. He points out that periods of prosperity lead to population growth, which, without corresponding increases in resources, eventually causes stress on societal structures, leading to instability and decline. This cyclical model suggests that understanding social growth and decline phases can help predict future patterns, offering a roadmap for navigating impending crises. Section 5. What is another top takeaway? The overproduction of elites. Churchin delves deep into the concept of elite overproduction, demonstrating how it precipitates societal crises. He provides data showing that as societies become more prosperous, they produce more individuals with higher education and aspirations for elite status than available elite positions. This mismatch leads to intense competition, disenchantment, and often aggressive polarization. Churchin uses contemporary examples, such as the increasing number of university graduates facing underemployment, to illustrate how modern societies are experiencing this phenomenon. The overproduction of elites intensifies competition for high-status roles, increases social tension, and contributes to political instability as more individuals feel excluded from the power and prosperity they were conditioned to expect. Section 6. What is the third top takeaway? The role of counter-elites. The emergence of counter-elites is central to Churchin's analysis of political disintegration. He defines counter-elites as those who find themselves marginalized despite possessing qualifications and ambitions similar to the ruling elites. Churchin examines historical instances where counter-elites mobilize the masses against the ruling elite, leading to revolutions or significant reforms. The American and French revolutions serve as prime examples where counter-elites played pivotal roles in challenging and eventually changing the status quo. Turchin's discussion on counter-elites is particularly relevant today as we witness the rise of populist movements around the globe, often led by individuals who claim to represent the disenfranchised against a corrupt or out-of-touch elite. Section 7. What is the fourth top takeaway? Structural demographic theory. Turchin's structural demographic theory provides a comprehensive framework for understanding the dynamics that lead to societal stability or instability. This theory combines demographic trends, such as population pressure, social structures, including the distribution of wealth and power, and political instability, manifested through uprising or state collapse. Turchin supports this theory with empirical data, showing how demographic pressures, elite overproduction, and weakening state institutions create a fertile ground for instability. He analyzes various historical periods, demonstrating how these factors have converged to precipitate crises, thus providing a predictive tool for identifying the warning signs of upcoming upheavals. Section 8. What is the fifth top takeaway? The path to reintegration. Despite the grim outlook of political disintegration, Turchin offers a blueprint for societal reintegration and renewal. He argues that societies can navigate out of crises by addressing the root causes of instability. This involves implementing policies that reduce inequality, such as progressive taxation and investment in public goods, which can alleviate the pressures caused by elite overproduction. Turchin also emphasizes the importance of strengthening institutions to ensure they are responsive and inclusive, thereby rebuilding trust between the populace and the state. Furthermore, he suggests that fostering a sense of collective identity and purpose can unite societies, helping heal divisions and laying the groundwork for more stable and a more stable and cohesive future. Through historical examples, Turchin shows that societies that have successfully navigated crises have often emerged more resilient, highlighting the potential for positive transformation even in the face of daunting challenges. Section 9. First, I want to thank all subscribers, primarily free and some paid, who have signed up thus far. Gaining additional subscribers daily is a decisive vote of confidence propelling the X Project forward. Substack tells me that nearly 2/3 of you have a 4-star or 5-star activity rating, meaning you consistently engage with my content, which is excellent. Please hit the heart icon, indicating you like the article. The more likes I get, the more Substack will promote my content within the Substack community. If you don't like my content or have any suggestions, please email me at thexprojectguy@gmail.com. Second, I would love to see a discussion with Peter Turchin and Neil Howe. For those newer to the X Project, the first book covered was The Fourth Turning, an American Prophecy, published in 1996 by Neil Howe. If you are unfamiliar with Neil Howe's work, read Article 3 now. Both authors identify cycles that end in social breakdowns and resets. Both authors arrive at each of their outlooks from very different perspectives. Howe's cycles are based on the length of a human life, roughly 80 to 100 years, and each has 4 turnings lasting 20 to 25 years that are like the quote, seasons of time: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Next week, in article number 36, I will cover Howe's newest book, The Fourth Turning is Here, what the seasons of history tell us about how and when this crisis will end. As the title suggests, we are in the season of social breakdown that will last until the end of the decade or early part of the next decade. Churchin's secular styles usually last 200 to 300 years. Churchin's analysis of these cycles involves examining periods of population growth, economic expansion, and social cohesion, followed by phases of decline characterized by elite overproduction, social stratification, and eventual state fragility or collapse. The secular cycle is divided into 4 phases: expansion, stagflation, crisis, and depression. Peter Churchin has not provided a specific date for when the current cycle of disintegration will end and the path to reintegration will begin. However, Churchin has warned about the 2020s being a period of heightened social and political turbulence based on his analysis of historical patterns and current trends, suggesting that this decade could be a critical juncture. I found this book as fascinating as Churchin's background. I find it intriguing that both his and Howe's cycles may end simultaneously, but for different reasons. This makes both of their arguments much stronger and the outcomes they predict much more likely to come true, especially given what I see in our society. Add Friedman's work in articles number 4, number 8, and number 16, and Zion's work covered in articles number 7, number 12, number 18, number 25, and number 28 on geopolitics and what I see in the world, and the collective outlook seems even more certain. Add to this all the other books covered, articles number 5, number 10, number 14, number 20, number 22, 24, 26, 30, and 32 thus far, and the few remaining to be covered, and I am convinced that the probability is very high that there will be a significant crisis or series of crises before too long. It is because of this view and the desire to help people understand what might be coming and to prepare for it that the X Project came to exist. In the next section, I will discuss why you should care and, more importantly, what you can do about it. But at this point, the X Project now requires you to be a paid subscriber to view the final section. In a few articles, the paywall will move up within the article so that only paid subscribers will see the last 2 sections, or rather, free subscribers will only see the first 8 sections. I will be moving the paywall up every few weeks, so ultimately free subscribers will only see the first 4 or 5 sections of each article. So please, consider a paid subscription. All paid subscriptions come with a free 14-day trial, and you can cancel anytime. Every month, for just the cost of 2 cups of coffee, the X Project will deliver 2 articles per week, helping you know in 1 to 2 hours of your time per month what you need to know about our changing world at the intersection of commodities, demographics, economics, energy, geopolitics, government debt and deficits, interest rates, markets, and money. Finally, you can also earn free paid subscription months by referring your friends. If your referrals sign up for a free subscription, you get 1 month of free paid subscription for 1 referral, 6 months of free paid subscription for 3 referrals, and 12 months of free paid subscription for 5 referrals. So please refer your friends. Thank you. This concludes the X Projects podcast number 34. Again, please subscribe to the X Projects Substack at thexproject.substack.com.